Howdy gang, thanks for stopping by. This is Nailed for the Xbox 360, developed by Techland and released back in 2010. It was also released for Windows and PlayStation 3. You can actually still buy this game, and I found it on Steam for only a couple of dollars. If you like racers, you might like this. I was just looking for something new to play, and this was the first thing I pulled off the shelf. I've never played this game before, and actually the only reason it's in my collection was that I found it for sale somewhere at a really good price, and having never played a four-wheeler racer before, it seemed interesting enough to try. Actually, right now I'm kind of on a 360 bender. 360 consoles are generally really cheap, and the games, they're not very costly either. I'm an Xbox fan across the board, and I have a ton of games I've just been itching to play. So I pulled this one out, popped it in, and I got probably 2 races into this lunatic experience before I found myself really liking it. It's an arcade racer that focuses on speed and insane jumping. You can drive either a four-wheeler or a dirt bike if you want. Out of the two, I think I like the four-wheeler best. There's no story to speak of in this game, it's just you and a bunch of racing tournaments to get through. And the racing here, it seems to be all about danger and huge vertical jumps. You also can get the screen dirty if you drive through water or mud, and having the screen get splashed and cluttered at racing moments, it's an interesting idea, and I don't think we actually see this much in a lot of racers. I think it's an interesting addition. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, you're like, oh yeah, that, and you're like panicking for just a second. I think it works. The tracks are probably what really make this one stand out though. You get 14 variations on tracks from 4 different zones, and honestly, these tracks do not seem to be physically or humanly possible. You're going to be launching into the air from these gigantic ramps, and you're going to take jumps that no one could ever hope to land and survive. At least not consistently. I'm sure there's somebody out there that could land 1 or 2 of these jumps, but man, some of these you go over, and all I can think of is that if you did manage to land a jump like that, it just doesn't seem like there is sufficient material construction on our planet to prevent your vehicle from surviving such an impact. With that being said, when you do land a long fall or a jump, it is a bit of a rush, no doubt. But you're going to crash, and you're going to crash frequently. And when you do, a load screen appears. It's pretty quick, and basically you just reset on the track. It'll take 1 or 2 seconds. Honestly, I did not like this at first, but after a few races, I adjusted to it, and then I was fine with it. It's really only brief. It's 2 seconds tops, maybe even shorter. And truthfully, it's a bit of a breather to some of the chaos in this race. Nailed seems to me to be all about throttle, steering, and boost. I imagine there's a brake button there somewhere, but honestly, I don't think I use it. What's really important here seems to be boost. You have a meter that fills up when you make a good landing, or if you race through the fire markers. Fire markers will be either 2 poles on fire, or maybe a big ring on fire. You go through them and you get some boost added to your meter. It's a pivotal part of the race, because this button will pack a punch. You press it and it pushes you along real fast. It gets you to where you need to go. If you're on a flat section, you're going to gain ground or improve your lead, and I like to boost when I'm going up most ramps, because I'm trying to get height and distance. It's a speed boost to something that is already really fast, and it's fun. It's something you really need to do. I try to not have any boost left over when I get to the end of the race. If you do, you've kind of left some time on the table. You get to choose between an ATV and a dirt bike, and as you actually win races, you're going to unlock different parts for your vehicles. You can swap out some items, which will change your basic appearance, and you can also change your color schemes as well. This sort of adjusts your stats in little increments, but to be honest, I kind of find myself not focusing on these adjustments very much. I guess I'm about halfway through all these races. Maybe it's something that comes into play later, but I kind of got comfortable with the particular configuration, and I've just been running with it. If it's working for me, I tend to not want to switch out of it. When it comes to graphics and sounds, the sounds are just fine, but the musical tracks that they have in this, I think, are what help make this a little bit extra exciting. My first race, they dropped in Queens of the Stone Age, the song 3s and 7s, and I was also winning that race, so great song, great race, it makes it twice as fun. I mean, I think in most games, if you hear something that you really like, it's probably going to make it that much better. The graphics, They're good on the 360. It's, what I would expect. I also think they probably look a little smoother if you were to play this off of Steam, but I'm just guessing. You can configure your hardware, newer hardware on the Steam Deck, or even, Steam in general. I could imagine you could get some graphical improvements out of it. But here, you're really moving fast, so most things are going to be blurring to begin with. And I'm pretty sure it's sort of designed to be a little blurred as you're racing. It sort of helps with the atmosphere. I think what we have is a solid arcade racer with interesting tracks, and those tracks have various paths through them. You don't always have to take the same one. That little variation is actually pretty neat, and definitely helps add to the confusion. But mostly when you're on a brand new track, that's when I find it's, okay, now I'm having trouble getting through it. But once you've gotten through that track once, maybe twice, and you have a feel for how it's supposed to flow, I tend to crash less for sure, and I tend to do better in the races. Now, personally, when it comes to racing games in particular, I know kart racers are a big thing, but that's something I'm not really too big of a fan of. You get the small vehicles with the large heads. This is definitely not that. This is a fast racing experience with effort put into you going vertical, with gigantic ramps and large hills. It really wasn't what I was expecting, and I find myself just popping it in to give it a few races just to kill a little bit of time. It's pretty enjoyable. Well, that's all I have today for Nailed for the Xbox 360. Thanks for stopping by for a look, and I hope to catch you on another video.